Hello and welcome to another episode of Pony 411. I am Alcatraz, and joining me as usual is Nemesis.
Hey.
Yes, this is episode 271 for the week of August 11th, 2019. We are back from BronyCon.
Are we?
Now you've thrown me into existential dread. We are back home from BronyCon. Last week was great. It was an experience. We will get into that later because we have a very full episode for you this week. We've got a fair decent amount of news. We're going to talk about BronyCon. There's stuff that came out during BronyCon we're going to talk about. We've got a comic to talk about. We've got a choose your own ending short to talk about. And we've got a pony episode to talk about, plus some fan content at the end. So let's quickly try and get through this. So, quickly into the news. If you'd like to follow along, and I recommend that you do, you can find all of our show notes at pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Remember that's spelled Libsyn. So go there, click the link for this episode, because there's a lot more info at the links that you'll probably want to see. So let's get into this. Starting with convention news. HarmonyCon Dallas has announced Kelly Sheridan. In fandom news, another dating sim game has been released. This one's called My Little Pony Super Ethical Shipping Climax. This is a humorous one. It is technically safe for work, though some of the humor is a little bit more adult. Nothing explicit, though. This apparently has been in production for a long time, 2013, and it is now finally released. So if you're into that, go check it out.
87 endings.
Yes, all the endings. In merchandise news, Alicorn Trixie has been added to the Gameloft game.
The one from the comic. The reflection art.
The reflection
from way
art.
Back in.
This isn't like some thing that's going to happen in season 9 in the finale or whatnot.
Trixie does not deserve that at all.
That Trixie did, but that's not the Trixie we have. Walmart has a new Rainbow Dash Christmas tree ornament. So if you want to decorate your Christmas tree with Dash, get it. Cutie Mark Crew Series 6 figures have been revealed. Those are coming out pretty quickly.
They're kind of different.
Yep.
Multicolored for some reason.
Yeah. Target has listings for 4 different retro G3 pony toys.
Yes. Because people actually are nostalgic for G3. What the heck?
It's odd. Yeah, I believe it's Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy are the 4 that they have listings for now. Amazon UK has DVD listings for Rainbow Road Trip as well as an Equestria Girls one that doesn't have details in it. It's probably the specials.
Mm-hmm. It's called Spring Sunsets Holiday, so it's probably the specials.
Probably the specials. In comic news, the Humble Bundle has a bunch of the MLP comics up right now.
Yep.
There's a bunch of them. It's not all of them, but there is a bunch.
These things are never all of them until the series has been complete for a bit.
Yep.
Which might happen soon, I don't know.
It might, we don't know. That one's still up in the air. Trade Paperback Volume 18 is up on Amazon for pre-order. It looks like it's going to actually come out February 11th of next year, 2020. And it contains issues 79 through 83. So if you've been getting those, pre-order that one. Apple Books, not iTunes, has a preview for Spirit of the Force number 3 up. So check that out. And in Friendship is Magic news, tour dates for the My Little Pony Live thing have been revealed. It will be kicking off March 2020, and tickets for it are live now.
If you want to early stuff, you got to use the code Twilight.
Yeah, that's it. So use the code Twilight. Another retro show video thing is out, and this one is parodying the opening for Beverly Hills 90210.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing. Check it out. It's interesting. And last bit of news, a trailer for the Season 9 finale is up on YouTube.
Yep. Spoilers and stuff. I mean, it's got scenes from the next few episodes, and it's definitely got scenes I have not seen yet, so they're definitely from unaired episodes here or in China. Yeah, definitely some stuff. There's some stuff going down, that's for sure. Also, the one thing I want to say about the trailer is just funny just because, once again, you could really hear they cut the dialogue really badly.
Yeah. Those lines aren't actually said. They're pieced together.
Oh, yeah. I know that for a fact. I've seen the episodes from where those lines come from. So it's like, that's pretty obvious.
Anyway, that is the news. Through that, so we got, like I said, we got a bunch of discussion stuff to talk about, and we're going to start off with BronyCon.
The last one.
The last BronyCon. So yes.
Where is it? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, we are back from
nice.
that. We did finally make a trip out to BronyCon.
Baltimore.
To Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore.
It's Baltimore.
Anyway, we made it out there. When we heard it was the last one, we had to go.
Oh, not indulge your twisted fantasies.
You know, it was everyone else that was telling me to call it Baltimore, because I wasn't, so it's not my fantasy.
Sure.
Besides, what's the saying? It's no wrong way to fantasize. That's
I would
canon.
say Celestia's wrong on that one, but I don't know.
Hey now, don't kink shame.
It is my kink.
Anyway, back to BronyCon. So yes, we finally made it out there for the last one and our first one. And overall, I'm super happy that I was able to go. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't perfect.
Oh no.
There were issues. But overall, I'm happy I went and I did have a lot of fun and I don't regret going. So, I don't know, do we want to start off with the issues? Let's get them out of the way. First issue, I know both of us are going to agree on, and a lot of people will.
Lines were mismanaged horribly.
Management was just, no, yeah.
Yeah, it was mismanaged pretty horribly.
Getting
a lot
into
of stuff
panels.
is, yeah, a lot of stuff. Lines were not really well marked. There was a line you'd have no idea what it was for because it just mad. It's because it's next to two other lines. It was a lot of stuff was they claimed, they told everyone don't line up more than an hour beforehand, but they let people line up anyway, and then you get there an hour beforehand. Oh, whoop, it's already capped. You can't get in. That happened several times. Lauren Faust, in particular, for the line for autograph was a nightmare, and most people, I think, who lined up didn't even get close to getting an autograph.
Yep.
What was the other thing? There was a lot of people. The other problem was that people ramble at Lauren Faust for long periods of time as well.
Yeah, that's a big PSA. It's like leads into something I've been considering and thinking about in just general life. You really need to understand not just what other people are doing, but what you're doing to other people. Your place in the cog, in the machine of humanity. Understand what your actions are doing to other people.
Yeah.
So don't stand and ramble at the person for 5-10 minutes in the autograph line when there's 300-400 people waiting on you.
Yeah, especially about your fanfics. No one cares. Honestly, they don't care.
Some people do.
They don't, honestly,
but
probably.
They're
being nice. They're politely nodding.
It's like, and they may actually think it's interesting, but that is not the place, not the time, nor the place. And yes, I know you won't get it any other time, but seriously, don't.
Don't. It's just everyone else is there's now going to be like 10 people behind you can hear you doing this, and they're thinking murderous thoughts now.
Yes.
They're fantasizing about murdering you now.
So yeah, line management was definitely probably the number one issue. Mm-hmm. You could bring it all back to that.
Yeah, the part of it was also when I remember that people were trying to show up way early, and security would often threaten to revoke your badge and kick you out just before lining up early.
Which I think is a bit
extreme,
excessive. I don't think anyone actually executed that and actually
threatened.
Kicked. I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to threaten to try and stop the lines, which was ineffective.
Which are letting them do anyway.
Which is like they couldn't. I wonder if they couldn't actually do what they were threatening to do, and people just called their bluff.
Yeah, there was definitely sometimes I noticed I heard some rumblings of some nasty miscommunication from the staff to people who were attending, particularly vendors and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's some really bad miscommunication, like, hey, you can't sell these things, and hey, guess what? This other table's selling those things just fine.
Yeah. There's always it doesn't matter what convention, there's always little things going on like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time you don't hear about them, but it always happens.
I've heard
it just depends on.
I also heard a couple grumblings from low-level con people, con workers. Low people complaining. Basically, all the bad stuff basically came from people up top who don't actually know what they're doing.
Right. There's always going to be grumblings like that too. Yeah. It's like, there's always going to be people. One, there's always going to be things happening. Yeah. Bad things that happen with management. No management's ever perfect. Stuff's gonna go bad. Stuff's going to fall through the
Yeah.
cracks. It happens. It's just part of running a con.
Yeah.
The real question is how you deal with it. There's also going to be people who are going to be griping about things that don't exist. So check things, make sure it
Here's the
makes
thing,
sense.
and I was talking to someone who does have experience running a convention. They're like, basically, and I agree with them, which is, yeah, things are always going to be on fire at the con. Always.
Oh, yes, always.
But the people attending should never know.
That's the other thing is there's always bad things going on. I was wanting to get to that, but couldn't find the words. There's always bad things going on behind the scenes. But as long as they say behind the scenes,
Yeah. If the attendees have no idea something went wrong, then
that means you've done your job right.
They have no idea.
There's a difference between a fire that's under control and contained and one that's uncontained.
But yeah, I heard so much grumbling about it. I remember when they told us that, I remember I was in the Lauren Faust signature line, which I didn't get a signature from, remember. They told us at one point 5 minutes until left, and then people started booing because, you're telling us 5 minutes left. Basically, you have no chance of getting a signature from her.
Yeah, we've been waiting here for 2+ hours and
for nothing.
Basically told no.
You're basically told you wasted your time. You could have done something else.
And on the other side, with someone like Lauren Faust, there's only so much time. Yeah. Chances are, even if everyone was going through the line
they weren't booing Lauren. They weren't booing the person who told them 5 minutes.
But what I'm saying is when it comes to someone like Lauren Faust, so many people are going to want to. Chances are there's going to be people who will not be able to simply because there isn't enough time for the amount of people. I think that's a good place to seg into a point of fact, the attendee count.
Yeah. Well, I would also say if you know there's only going to be so many, don't let that many people line up.
Right, but then people are going to get mad, and you didn't let me line. Yeah, it would be capping the line early, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
which would make sense.
Don't let them waste their time in the line. If they say, okay, we're only going to let 30 people in line, just say or whatever, into the line.
You know what happens when you do a temporary line cap, though. People just hang around.
Well, they're doing it anyway.
Yep.
But at this point, it's like, well, they can at least you're not going to get in. You might as well. Because apparently, since she had multiple signings, sessions.
Another thing
they should have been able to know. Okay, this is how many people she can get through in an hour. This is how many we can let in the line.
One thing I would recommend to other conventions on one way to handle something like this, and I know they tried to do this and failed for the Lauren thing because you were telling me about it. But one place that did it more correctly, was the do-it-yourself pony plush panel that was there.
Yeah,
you go up early and they give you a little stick thing with a ribbon on it.
Ticket.
Basically. So you don't have to stand in line, you just go up and get it, and they have a limited amount. You have it, and that's your entry. So you don't have to sit in line and hope you get it. So say 30 people in a shot, they let 30 people through for like a 1 hour session or 2 hour session or however, they try and figure out how much time. Give those out early, and then you exchange them for actually buying the autograph thing and getting it. That would kill the lines and more manage things. And you'd know immediately upon going up if you're going to be able to get into this session. Mm-hmm. The other thing would be, like we mentioned early, people talking a lot. Manage that. Have someone there going, "Hey, we need to get through more people."
Yep. You have literally 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a very difficult thing to do, to actually tell people to leave when they're, seeing their idol. It's tough to do on a social level, but it's probably
now if you suppress all your emotions, become a cold and feeling robot for the next hour.
God, it is tough. Any other bad things before we go to more of the good things?
No, I'm going to keep bringing up bad things randomly.
Oh, so you're just going to just all the good things, you're well, then there's this bad thing. So everything
pretty much. I need to make sure to keep things in check.
It really was a good time. It really was. For me personally, one of the things I absolutely loved was music.
Yeah,
Bronypalooza. I've never been able to go before. The only ones I've really been able to do is the smaller ones or Everfree, which it pales in comparison to what I saw. Now, I also know that what I saw is not normal for BronyCon either, because the attendee of 10,000 people has only been hit once before.
Yeah.
But still, walking into that room, the main hall for Bronypalooza that first night, that was Thursday night, I was dumbstruck. The sheer size and scale and production that was going on there was impressive. I was floored. The energy in the room, the people up on stage, it was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've been in bigger concerts, in mainstream ones, but it's not even comparable. It's totally different. It was absolutely amazing. I wish I could have done more, but unfortunately, one of the other larger parts in one of the Brony Paloozas I avoided due to a certain someone on stage.
Someone who still hasn't apologized for their transphobia.
Yep. We've already talked about that one, and we don't have much time to talk about more. But other than that, it was absolutely incredible. And then the charity auction. I was absolutely astounded. I was there throughout the entire charity auction. Just the sheer amount of money being put forward. I was drawn to tears multiple times seeing this. The highest item went for $3,100. I can't even remember what it was, but the total number, over $80,000. Almost double the number one charity auction, Everfreeze, of like $45,000, almost doubled it. It was just incredible to see.
I was just trying to make a pony plush at the time.
You were just trying, yeah. But yeah, it was absolutely an amazing time getting to see people that I wanted to see, hanging out with people, saying hi to some of our listeners.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
And just the environment and being there, just to stand among all of that and see all of this. It was an amazing time.
It was. Anyway, come to ChalkCon.
Anyway, I was waiting for that one. I was thinking we were going to do it at the end of the episode, but I guess we'll put it there. So, I guess that's enough for BronyCon. We could talk more about that, but we got other things to talk about. But we will talk about the next thing, which actually
did happen at
happened
BronyCon as well.
At BronyCon. Released at BronyCon. We're going to quickly go over Ponies the Anthology number 7.
I thought 6 was the last one. I thought the nightmare was over.
Nope. It was absolutely hilarious. It was a shortened, semi-shortened, and a little bit extra censored version that they showed at BronyCon. There's a longer version that's up on YouTube now, which we've linked in the show notes. So go check that out if for some reason you haven't already, because it's Anthology. Everyone knows about Anthology. But I think
the line was capped like an hour beforehand. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's that again.
That was a weird one. They capped the line for closing ceremonies, but I was sitting back there and I was like, there's a bunch of seats sitting.
Yeah, that was a big one I saw. Was oh boy, people were really upset about that one.
Yeah, people were upset that we didn't also clear the room before letting people. But you know what? I'm gonna disagree with those people, and I'm gonna say because the charity auction went so much long over, and we had so many people in that room, trying to clear the room out past the line of people waiting to get in, just to filter them out and get them back in, it would have been an absolute nightmare and would have delayed ceremonies even longer. It would have been a disaster to try and clear everything out. So I think they did the right thing not by clearing the room, but they should have been able to pull more people in. They should have managed that better.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Anthology.
Seeing a bunch of stuff, empty chairs and pictures. Like, oh boy, they messed that one up.
Yep, it was in the back, like past everyone where I was. I was in the back corner, where there was open seats. All the other seats, I think, were full. They just didn't want I guess people are just lazy and don't want to walk all the way to the back of the room. I don't know. Anyway, Anthology. I already said it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, there was a lot, but it's an anthology. So some pretty funny ones, some really hit and miss missing ones. Some of them was like, that's fine.
Yep.
Some stuff is like I don't get it because like I don't know what's referencing.
Yep, depending on references.
The thing is, there's definitely a couple skits in there that I was kind of annoyed by because they used the ableist language, and there was a homophobic slur at one point. I remember that.
Yep. And that's one thing I was bugged about the full version that's up on YouTube. There's actually more of those than was shown.
Mm-hmm. There's
so
a couple
of those. That one didn't quite work so well.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of annoying that's they think people made it consider that okay.
I chalked it up to MLP, but the /MLP 4chan humor.
Yeah, it's just kind of annoying that stuff was in there. It's like, I know it's based on existing stuff that other people made, but that means just don't make a skit based off that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought. There's plenty of other things you can do that don't involve that sort of language.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate black mark against the whole thing because of those handful of iffy skits.
Yep. Remember, there's one skit that I thought was absolutely hilarious and laughed at that not many other did, because I think it's more of a niche reference.
Oh, that one.
The missile knows where it is at all times.
Oh.
It had Derpy in it. It's absolutely hilarious. I know the reference.
Yeah.
But not many other people laughed at it, so it's like, oh, I'm one of the few.
Maybe your sense of humor is broken.
Well, I also, it is definitely a niche reference, so...
Trying to think of the one I like the most, and it's like, I don't know.
There's a whole bunch of them in there. I don't think I could pick a favorite one.
All waifus are valid, except for yours.
Except for yours. It's like one of the tables
Starlight's in the trash.
one of the tables someone set up, just random table.
Oh, yeah.
Your waifu is trash. Changed my mind.
Yeah, you didn't even mention the BronyCon memorial.
Yes, I did not mention. I was just thinking about that. I was talking about this table. Yes, as has been set up at other dying conventions, someone set up a memorial and it grew and grew and grew and then got ants.
Because someone left food.
Someone left food. Don't leave food at the memorials, people. It will attract ants. But yeah, that was cool seeing that just grow.
Anthology 7 was fine.
It was funny, except for those.
Yeah. No, again, there's a couple of bits I was like,
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, It's like, I get what you're trying to go for, but it just doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an hour and 18 minutes to go check it out.
One of the opening ones, the opening the book as Twilight is at the very intro, and then it moves into Shrek and ripping the page off.
Yeah.
That was great. Anyway. We could talk about more about those things, but we do have to continue. So, next up, we're going to talk about Feats of Friendship #1.
Yes.
Comics, go.
The new side series comic thing, which is, I guess, replacing Spirits of the Forest, even though that just hasn't actually ended yet, but whatever. This one is written by Ian Flynn with art by Tony Fleece, flats by Lauren Perry, letters by Krista Meisner. Edits by Megan Brown, group editor Bobby Curnow.
Got more people in there.
No Breckle.
No Breckle.
But anyway, let's see. The student 6 are called in by Twilight to, because they're doing a thing. Let's see, what is it? The Feats of Friendship, and they got a new transfer student called Swiftfoot, and of course, Sandbar has a bit of a crush on her immediately.
Much to Yona's dissent.
She shows up. She starts talking to the student 6, and hey, look, she starts bringing up some stuff that makes them all upset or disappointed or sad or whatever. And yep. That's the gist of it. She's sowing seeds.
Evil.
Yeah. It's kind of obvious. Like, they're telegraphing you. Yeah, she's super bad.
Obvious.
She's a bad person. Bad pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the bad pony.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. And it's like, oh, look, we're going to lead into a... something.
Something.
I don't know, but
something's
something's
going somewhere.
Something's up. We're going to see it. Yeah, it's weird.
It's a setup, so
it's one of those things that's like,
say.
villain takes decent points and then twists them to make everyone mad and upset.
The best lies are the ones that are grounded in truth.
Yeah. I mean, so far it seems okay, but yeah, it's like, it's like, well, the same, 5 stories over and over again, more or less. Just, she comes in and tells them a thing to make them upset.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Yep, because it's just a setup, and she's just splitting them apart and driving wedges into the group.
Once again, the group is all upset at each other.
Yep, it's basically like that one episode.
Yeah.
What was the name of that episode? With the tree? The Student 6? I've already forgot it because it kind of sucked. It was not high on our list.
It was not.
Anyway.
Uprooted,
thank you. That's the one.
It's still fine. Just can't really say whether or not to buy it or not until more comes out.
Yep, it's a setup. All right, so moving on from comics, we are going to talk about the Choose Your Own Ending short. that just came out, Suck It To Me, in which Rainbow Dash loses her lucky sock.
Oh, man.
And apparently her 3 options for getting help are...
Rarity.
That's the one I forgot.
Bulk
Rarity,
biceps.
Trixie, and Bulk Biceps. So, in the Rarity option, Rarity sews up a new lucky sock, takes a long time, gives it to Rainbow, and Rainbow wins the game because the sock has giant gems on it that blind everyone.
It's fine.
It's like every one of these is totally illegal in the game.
Shut up, it's fine. Well,
Trix-
no, one of them is not technically illegal.
I don't know. Trixie gives Rainbow one of her socks. That's a lucky sock that acts like magic and helps her kick it really hard, and it turns out there's a rabbit in it.
Or was there?
Or
See,
was there?
Magic sock.
Yes, it's a magic sock. Again, pretty sure that's illegal. Nothing
There's
in the
no
rules
rule
says you
saying-
can't have a rabbit in the game. It's Airbud all over again. And Bulk Biceps has a 6-something-year-old unwashed lucky sock that
It's
smells
fine.
really bad and makes everyone pass out. And that's how Rainbow wins. But no, it's not that. It's just a lesson in self-confidence.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure, Bulk.
sure.
But that one's...
It was totally the sock that did everyone
But
passed out.
that one's technically not illegal because there's...
I guess, again, no rule. Well, I don't know.
This is one of those things where it's like there's no intended...
Noxious substances. Performance-enhancing substances.
That's not...
It's not a performance-enhancing substance. It's performance de-enhancing on everyone else. It's like you can't just toss poison gas into the field and
Well, no,
say you
but
won.
you can wear a sock, and it is technically just a sock.
I guess.
It's
Really
a really
push it.
horrendous sock, but it's a sock.
Wash that foot like 10 times.
You know what? Just cut the foot off. It'll be easier in the long run. Get a sweet
You.
robot foot.
You. Well, no, you remember, skin replaces itself. It'll eventually go away. Just wash it a bunch. It will go away. Anyway, it's a thing. It's weird. It's kind of funny. But
I did like the rarity one just because of the just Dash just losing her mind because she's so impatient and just trying
Well,
to reach for it.
she had
Just-
perfect reason to.
And Rarity just slapping her hand away. Just no.
No.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That sort of thing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
or the opening for all 3 of them. Your most brilliant friend.
Twilight? Yeah. I was like, yep.
Well, it makes sense.
Also, Pinky just having socks in her hair because reasons.
Just a giant ball of socks. Just throws it on
Sockless
Sunset.
Revolution.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Moving on to our final and main discussion point, we do have a pony episode to talk about. And it is 246 Great. So, quick synopsis. Twilight is starting a buckball team for the school to compete against apparently Celestia's buckball team at her school. Anyway, Fluttershy and
start a
Pinkie
league.
Pie are, and Snails, yes, not Snails, are going to be coaching. And then Twilight says, I'm also brought in Rainbow Dash. And Rainbow Dash is like, yay! And it's like, you're actually going to coach the cheer squad. And Rainbow Dash is like, what? No. And she has to do that, and she's not very enthusiastic, and the cheer squad kind of sucks, and Rainbow Dash doesn't really help very well, until Smolder gets fed up with it, and has a pointed discussion with Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash figures out what she was doing wrong, and actually coaches them, and they get better, and everyone is happy, and Rainbow Dash learns a lesson. There you go. So this episode is a thing.
It's a thing, huh?
It is a thing, I'm going to say. I have not looked at anyone else's reactions to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that this episode is divisive, but that's just because of my own personal feelings on it. I'm not entirely sold on the writing for Rainbow Dash on this one. I'm just going to say that one right there. One of my biggest issues, and it just pervades through the entire thing, it says Rainbow Dash has no idea why cheering is useful. And she has it's like, she doesn't get it, and she thinks no one cares. And yet multiple times in the early season, she was, super looking for people to cheer her on because it's what helps her. So it's just a complete, again, regression or just forgetting a previously established aspect of Dash. Like, that part just doesn't make sense. Why would Dash not care about the cheer squad when multiple times in the early seasons she was literally making one for herself because she wanted one and knew it was important? And that just bugs me. And it just keeps going through almost the entire episode of this. No one cares about the cheer squad. But Dash, you do. So that one just, like, someone forgot. And it just sours my take on the whole thing right there. In the end, the lesson learned is a good lesson. Like, you don't have to care about the thing someone else cares about. As long as you care about the person, you can still be enthusiastic with them for it. And I think that's something a lot of people definitely should learn, because it definitely helps your friendships. It really does. At least try and take some interest in your friends in things that they're enthusiastic about, because not so much for your sake, but for theirs. It's important aspect of friendship to at least take some interest. Otherwise, your friends get really upset with you. And it really hurts your friends.
Yeah. So,
feel free to jump in.
Yeah, you just kept going, though, so I didn't want to, cause them audio issues. This one. It was written by Kaita Impambara, that one. That right. Name, which we've always kind of tripped over.
And we've tripped over.
Yeah. I actually kind of liked it. I know. I was wondering what you were gonna think about it going in, because like I saw it several weeks ago. I was like,
Yeah.
I was wondering.
I'm
I was
not
curious.
super pleased with it.
The thing is, what was it? There's kind of a weird thing. It's like we get the case. So there's the Total Cheer Squad thing, and the whole There's the episode way back when that was Sonic Rain Boom.
That was a big one
with Fluttershy and all that stuff with the cheering. It's like I'm wondering. It's like I know your whole thing is like that's a bit of a contradiction. I'm like, well, thing was Fluttershy wasn't a cheerleader per se. She was in the crowd, so it's like I'm wondering, because Dash's whole thing seems to be hanging up not so much about cheering, so much as the cheer squad doing their routine in the middle of the game and stuff that no one cares about, and that's where the distinction comes in. Where I think possibly the dialogue just doesn't do a very good job of making that distinction,
because it more does the opposite. Because it's back in Sonic Rain Boom, she literally said that she needed someone cheering for her, or she wasn't able to do it. She needs that cheering. But then the dialogue in this one, the dialogue, and I guess I get what you're saying. That like the dialogue doesn't make the distinction clear, but it's just more like makes it so there is no distinction. She should know that even the team needs the cheering. Because Dash needed a cheer squad of her own. It wasn't a full squad because she could only bring Fluttershy, but it was an individual event, and she needed someone to cheer for her.
Yeah,
because she needs someone to cheer. And it's the same idea. Like, and I wouldn't think that Dash wouldn't be able to make that connection.
But what I'm saying is, like, you got the cheering during the actual game, but then you got this whole dedicated block to the cheer squad, which is what Dash doesn't care about. She says that's when everyone gets up and gets food.
Right.
Or whatever.
But you still need the cheer squad for everything else.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time, you can have the fans in the stands cheering for you, but I don't know. Because that's where what Fluttershy was. They were in the stand, and them were in the stands. We're back in Sonic Rainbow, so it might be that's
right. But it's also slightly the situation. That one is different because that one's like multiple individual events. Everyone in this group is going to be there for their one individual. You're not going to have a whole people there to see one big team. Oh. So it's the same concept, and I get what you're saying, and I understand it, but I don't think it worked well.
The other thing is, this is a thing that they never really addressed this part of Dash's personality super well, which is she does have a tendency to be very dismissive of things she doesn't really care about. And she's always been like that. She's been that for a long time. They never really completely, they somewhat addressed it back in Read and Weep way back when, but that was kind of a weird thing. Whereas for her, with reading, she found that there was something she was interested in there, just because eventually she gave up and got bored and, okay, fine, I'll look at it. And then she actually found she had something interesting with cheerleading. Even at the end, she's still not particularly interested in the actual cheerleading part per se.
Yeah. Also, remember the whole reading thing was the whole egghead thing, and she's
too.
Sportsy, so she can't be an egghead.
Yeah,
That's
again,
like I can't like.
But
reading.
that's the thing.
Different.
Well, I would.
It's not I'm not interested in it, so I don't care. It's something I'm not supposed to like because I'm the sports person.
I would disagree on that kind of hard. But anyway,
playing up that.
But any which way, I think. Yeah, it's just they never address that. Dash. There's other little things around that they're doing. Dash makes it very clear she's not interested, and so she gets really bored and dismissive whenever she doesn't personally care about it. And it's never been properly addressed as a character flaw. It's just kind of been ever present. And so this is the episode that finally addresses it to really, really bluntly, where it's like,
I think overly bluntly,
and just like, yeah, you need to. Care about this thing because, people you care about it. So you should probably, at least support them and not be super like she was just trying to pass the buck as much as possible. She was like doing the bare minimum necessary to technically say, well, I did my job and go off and do what she really wanted, which is the buckball thing, which she's more interested in.
Yes. There's a couple of, like, I'm not going to disagree with you. There has been that little bit about Dash constantly run through, but it hasn't ever been this big. And whether or not that's just because they haven't addressed it or hasn't been there, no one can really answer. That's just an unanswerable question. I guess technically canon would say that it is that big. We just haven't seen it because we have this episode now, even though I don't like it. But yeah, I do think it was just way more than it should have been. It was just like... And it's not unusual to see. It's very common when you're trying to make a point. You always kind of, especially for stuff like for TV shows, and you always kind of exaggerate things just to make sure the point gets across. And I see that's a thing. But another aspect of this is Twilight just kind of pushed her into this with no real, consideration of Dash either. And yeah, I guess it's, in order to make Dash learn a lesson. But, we've been down this road before where you just kind of force someone to learn a lesson without, doing something else. Yeah, it was an episode called Mysterious Ne'er-do-Well, where it's like, oh, we're just going to teach you a lesson without actually, not knowing you are near that as bad as Ne'er-do-Well was. But yeah, it's like, really, Twilight, there was a better way to do that.
I've argued before that with Dash, you can't really do the straightforward lesson too well.
Try.
They have. That's my thing. I remember that. My whole argument was they have tried. It never worked, so they always have to go for this weird roundabout approach to get Dash to kind of figure it out herself. Versus if you just lecture her, it never sinks in for her.
The other problem with this one is mainly because we're seeing this probably after the fact that the episodes start where we start seeing the episode. We don't know what's been going on, in their universe before this point in time, immediately before. So at least with like Ne'er-do-Well, it was something they start to grow and went to address. This one, we have no idea if this has been a current issue that they've been trying to address beforehand. We just see, oh, by the way, you're going to teach the cheer squad, even though we see your complaints about this, you're just going to do it anyway. We don't know what's been going on beforehand that would lead up to this point or not, so I don't know what Twilight's reasonings are or if she has good reasons. We don't know. We don't see it. But yeah, still, it's like obvious if someone's really not wanting to do something, especially when it comes to like teaching a cheer squad. Dash doesn't have any experience, and she's obviously not wanting to do it. You're just going to make your cheer squad suffer too. It's like that's a risk you're taking there, Twilight. You're risking other people just to teach this lesson.
A little bit.
Like, you obviously took a page from Celestia, which is nodded to at the end of the episode, but like this is that sort of subtle put you into a situation 4D chess level manipulation of events to teach a lesson that makes people go tyrant Lestia, that level of things where it's almost borderline malicious manipulation of events to teach you something. It's like you're really pushing that line there, Twilight. It's one thing to adjust a situation as it occurs, or that will occur regardless, and to teach someone a lesson. It's another one to fabricate a mean situation just to teach someone something.
I won't say that's really fabricating a mean situation.
It was like why I say it's borderline. It never made it that far.
I don't know.
But it was still taking advantage of an existing situation to teach a lesson. And it's like, yeah, there was nicer ways to do it. It's just, I don't know. I just didn't like how Dash.
I'm just noticing that the general divide. I'm noticing the general divide is Dash fans hate it. Everyone else is like, it's fine or it's good.
And a lot of it is because this is my character that I like, and you've made her kind of a jerk that no one can like. And it's like, this is not who our character is. This is when I look at Dash and what everything I've seen up to this point, I've never seen anything quite to this level. Well, in this area, it's just this new negative aspect that you throw, and of course we're not going to like it. Whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing is a completely separate discussion. So yes, that is where a lot of the divide is going to be. Thus, Dash fans don't, and it's like if Twilight did something like similar, you wouldn't like it. And you would say it's not like Twilight to do it. I mean, we've had that discussion before.
Let's just say that still your words are going to be put to the test next week.
Twilight's going to do something?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this has happened like in the movie. When Twilight disregarded her friends.
Yeah.
It was so... And you didn't like it. So it's going to happen. You always don't... No one wants to see their favorite character hurt or do something wrong. And yes, I will fully admit that I have a bias here. But honestly, I think it could have been better. I think the biggest part is just that I think it was too blunt, too much. It was that aspect, the I don't care about it, taken to more of an extreme than it should have been, in my opinion, for Dash. It's there, yes, but I don't think it should have been that much, at that level of disregard for her students. I don't think she has ever had that level of disregard. She has some disregard, yes, but not to that level. That's where I'm going to put it.
Oh, I think part of it's with the dialogue and stuff. It pretty much shows that Dash just assumed everyone else had the same level of disregard for cheerleading that she did, and just went with it. Not kind of just hop in because she mentally checked out. She wasn't really noticing that everyone else was getting upset with her because she had mentally checked out, and everyone else was actually wanting to do the cheerleading thing. So that's a thing.
That is a thing in real life that happens a lot too.
She assumed that everyone else thought the same, which is cheerleading is a waste of time. Yeah. So she just rolled with that.
There is actually a term for that, and I've forgotten what it is, but it's that moment in time when you realize and you fully come to comprehend, because everyone knows it, but they don't fully conceptualize it until they really have to, that those other people you see in life are just as complex and have just as many things going on in their lives, and they have this full of a life, and they have full consciousness and think, and they are full humans and people just like you. Everything you go through, all of your thoughts, all of your interests, everything that makes you do what you do, other people have the same thing. And so many times you don't see that. Like driving down the road and some jerk's in front of you slowing the traffic down. It's so easy. And so many people it's just some random jerk being stupid. And that's as far as they take it. But see, you don't understand that person has a complex life too. They're not just they're not an NPC in your life. That's the best way I can describe it. Other people are not NPCs, but so many people consider them like that. You also don't, like I mentioned, I think earlier in this episode, they fail to consider the fact that you think everyone else is an NPC in your life. Other people think you're an NPC in their life too, and you don't really understand how you fit in as well with the rest of the group. You're in a big line of traffic driving down the road. You see everyone else as in your way. You don't realize the person behind you sees you as in their way. No, you don't care. And there's actually a term for the point at which you realize this and it changes. And it's a massive mental change. And I think that's part of what this episode was talking about, is that Dash wasn't quite thinking about it. Because part of that is the understanding that other people are complex and different. They don't have the same thoughts as you. They don't think the same way as you. They don't have the same interests as you. And you need to understand this. Then leading into your friends have interests that don't fully match yours, but you should at least try and take some interest in them. You don't have to be fully interested, but don't just blow them off because you don't care. It's a big way to piss your friends off and make them walk away. Because now they feel unappreciated and that you don't care about them. Yeah, I'm ranting now.
Yeah,
I have thoughts.
yeah.
And this opens the door to a lot of thoughts. And they will not be gone.
Yeah. All right. This episode actually has Snips in it quite prominently. Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned Snips at all.
Yeah, he's trying to. He actually sowed the seeds for this back in the Quibble Pants episode, which is
Continuity.
Snips is like, I can make money off this stuff. So that's the reason he has a vested interest in the cheer squad scene, because good cheer squad means good sales for things like pennants and jerseys and all that stuff that people like to buy at sports things.
Yep, big foam fingers. Which I didn't actually see any of them.
Well, yeah, but our hands.
I think we've seen them before. I think Lyra had one.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was Fanon, though. It might be Fanon.
There was one. I think it was in Sonic Rainboom.
Oh yeah, it was that. I think it was.
I think it was
Lyra.
Pinky.
Was Pinky?
I think Pinky might have had one. I'm not sure. Anyway, someone had
one.
Some pony.
I know. At like conventions, vendor halls, you can buy foam hooves now that look like that.
Well, I just remembered something. There's one point where actually Dash was addressing the cheer squad, and she didn't say every creature. She said every pony.
Oops.
Exclusionary. Whoops.
Sometimes you forget terms.
Just say everyone, you butts.
Just like use the term that everyone knows.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing was like the actual cheer squad. It was Yona, the two ponies,
two
the new
brand
ones.
new characters.
I'm trying to remember. It was something Shake and Light Hoof.
I don't remember their names at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
They're probably in the voice credits.
Yeah, they were. I just saw them though.
Yeah, but then we had Ocellus and Yona and Smolder were there.
Yeah, they all had their own little problems. Like, Yona kept stomping. It's really difficult to dance when the ground's constantly shaking. Like, really difficult. The dancer? Yeah, the dancers are having that problem. Yona didn't seem to have any good sense of timing. Shimmy, Shake, and Light Hoof.
Shimmy, Shake, and Light Hoof.
Yeah.
Shimmy, Shake.
Yep, Shimmy, Shake.
Ocellus,
was very quiet, and Smolder's kind of like, She only joined because, Dash might make it cool.
The
other thing was weird is the music they were using to do their cheer routine was kind of like
the music
generic and boring.
Well, the music they use in the dance routine is the music they were using through the background through the entire episode. They didn't really have any special music at all other than the generic background music that they had there, so they didn't change it up. I was kind of hoping that they'd change things up, but they didn't. So
it was very low and it wasn't very high intensity or anything.
No.
So it was kind of.
It was just generic backing music.
Yeah, it was kind of like what,
which is fine for generic backing music, but I was like,
it's kind of weird.
You kind of need to have something else for the cheer music too, and there wasn't.
I mean, yeah, there's also the Buckball team with Fluttershy and all that stuff. Fluttershy freaking out initially because coaching for 2 weeks. Do I have 2 weeks to actually coach them? And it's like, then it called back to Sonic Rainboom with one of the unicorns having the butterfly wings.
Oh, yep.
Then the horns the magic suppressing ring.
Yeah, magic's, which is interesting. I think that's the first time we've actually seen one in canon.
I think there might have been one before. It's been a while, but I could have sworn I saw one in an old episode. But
yeah, I can't. It's in Fanon all the time.
Yeah,
but I can't remember if it ever showed up in canon beforehand. I know, like, during the Equestria Games one, they had to walk through a field at Suppressor Magic and kind of did this weird wraparound thing that then focused on the horn, but didn't leave a ring.
Yeah.
So,
and the school friendship lost.
They lost. Only by one, though, and it was like
But they
a
still
tie-breaking
lost.
lose, so it was a close game.
Oh, yeah, and snails is still being snails. You must empty your mind.
And be the ball.
Balls don't have minds. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm certain there's commentary on that one.
Oh, yeah, and apparently Celestia's a little bit of a jock.
A little bit of a joke, yeah.
Also, she cheered real loud. Used
Yeah,
her
that's
Royal Candelot voice.
That's cheating. You can't use that. No one else has that option.
Twilight probably does now.
Maybe. We've never seen that. But
Well, she has a scarier voice, which is the quiet librarian voice.
Oh, never piss off a librarian.
That's much scarier. Also, the one thing I did like was at the end when Twilight and Celestia just hoof bumped. It's like, oh, hey, look, their relationship's finally becoming more casual.
Yep. And that's also the point that I was referring to. The Twilight's taking a page from her mentor.
Yeah.
With the get you to learn a lesson in a certain way. It's very much a Celestia thing.
Yep. Sit back and just watch the chaos unfold.
Just push the button, push the situation into where it needs to be, and learn a lesson.
Mhm.
So I was like, careful with that. That's borderline manipulation. If you take it too far, it's too far.
It was not too far this time.
That's why I say it was borderline.
But if you don't cross the line, you're still okay.
Yeah, but when you start getting closer and closer to that line, you really got to watch your intentions. Because, like, are you just trying to push it? Because it's so easy to take that last step.
Okay,
after
we're
you've done
repeating
something.
ourselves. We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time.
In fact, we're kind of going longer than I thought we would.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
I did like the beginning where Dash did bring her whole equipment dumping on this ground. I think there's actually more equipment than possible to just fit in that bag. One of those
It
things.
wouldn't be the first time.
And then
Bigger
she's
on the
carrying
inside.
all this stuff, like trying and stuff. It's like, I want you to cheer, and then just, and then the
What?
grumpy face, just
Yeah.
grumpy pout.
It's like, come on, just let Dash be happy. She wants to do these things. She so wants to be part of Buckball. It's
Let's be real.
So
Who are the
huge.
best coach? The best coaches would probably be the best players they have. Which remember,
That makes sense. Which is, remember, it was Dash who gave that up. It was
Yeah, way
Dash's
back when.
idea because she understood that. But it's like Dash still wants to do it because she loves it. So it's like, don't dangle it in front of her and take it away. That's mean. Just let Dash be happy.
never.
Let Dash be happy. Anyway, yeah, we're starting to repeat and ramble. So, unless you got anything else to add, we are running long. I could continue ranting on it if I wanted to, but
I did like the joke about Zecora being useless.
Yeah,
Not as helpful as you might think. So I got the book of rhyming from the library.
yeah. But it put the idea in Dash's head to rhyme, so that works.
There you go.
So it was useful.
Zecora. That means you're saying Dash is wrong.
Not as useful as you think is still useful. It's just Dash was expecting more help. Anyway, I guess it's time to move on. We do have a little bit of fan content to talk about. So let's jump into it. I have only one song I'm going to feature this week. And yes, it was... Jumping back to BronyCon real quick, it was a lot of fun getting to see this debut live in the area, in the main stage for the first time. It was a whole bunch of fun. Anyway, here's Discord. Yes, Eurobeat Brony. Travis, Odyssey, Eurobeat, Brony, T. Stebbins, Ken Blast, whatever you want to call him, has made a 2019 version of the classic Discord, of his classic Discord. And this, This version, it's great. It really is. The old Discord, as much as people like to bash on it for its meme level, it is a good song, and this one just takes it up to the next step with everything that Travis has learned since then, and just continue to get better. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and it's just random little dubstep thing thrown right into the middle. Just it works. A little bit of chaos in there. It's just a whole lot of fun. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's Discord. I mean,
it's Discord.
I like the intro music. I think the talking intro is a little long-winded, and I don't know. Take it or leave it, honestly.
Yeah. The intro is a little bit interesting, but on that part.
But I also like the poke a bit.
Yep.
Right before, where's the dubs? Here's the dubs.
Effective chaos.
That's fine.
Applied chaos theory. It's a good
Okay, Jeff.
Hold on, let me get a tiny glass of water, and then I'll drip it on your wrist. Anyway, moving on. Fanfic. What do you got?
Okay, first off, a new old fic just updated. Odyssey of a Thief. Well, no, just updated, but yeah. Which, well, Twilight going back to the not rarity dragon. Was it Harukana? I think so. Yeah.
Hanakana, or yeah.
Yeah, I just keep thinking. Remember, it was rarity.
How do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Harakana.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's going back there and kind of trying to get her shipped over to a different place.
How do you get a giant dragon on a boat?
Yeah, you don't say it's a dragon. Also, I like the author's note. If anyone has any comments about Harukana's weight, God help you. Because I said something like 12 tons. Yep. Which makes sense for a giant dragon.
A giant dragon. No, what you do is like, only 12 tons? Wow.
Yeah.
You play it off as that being a small amount.
Yeah. There's that. There's a lot of fun dialogue in there. But yeah, the feature fic I got this week is called Kindness to Enemies by James Powell. And yeah, the Rainbooms are leaving the music festival after the whole Star Swirl music festival crazy Groundhog Day thing, and they see a van's broken down on the side of the road, and it's the Dazzlings. Oh no. So they just decide to help. And that's the story, more or less. It's a pretty short one, about just literally 2001 words. It's just a basic little thing of just kind of a little, I guess, slice of life. Just, hey, look, there's people who don't like us. We're going to help them anyway.
Yep, because
that's the right
you're
thing
in a position to help, and it's the right thing to do.
Feel wrong to leave them on the side of the road just because you don't like them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward thing. There's some funny little bits in there. Pinky and Sonata have a bit of an exchange. It's kind of funny. There's that I've actually featured this author before. I didn't realize it was that fic about the clone Twilight.
Wow.
That kind of what if she survived at the end of that episode. That one, if you remember, I featured it a while ago.
Was it the one with the pinky as well?
I can't remember if I had the pinky. I think that was different. But yeah, I think that was this other. There's a longer one. It was just the mean Twilight was living with Twilight for a while before.
She left. That one.
That one. So it's like they wrote something before. I was like, oh, I forgot. It's like I was just curious. Like, what else did they wrote? Oh yeah, I remember that one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward story, but it's still kind of a fun little read. Yeah. It's a slice of life. So again, there's nothing like super in depth there. It's just a nice little thing. It's just got a nice little, I guess, moral, kind of like the show would do.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll echo your statements on that one. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but it works. I guess that's it. That's it for this episode. We are finally at the end. We did have a lot to talk about, and we had to shorten as much as we could. But here we are at the end. If you liked what you heard, you can find all of our episodes, past, future, present, at pony411.libsyn.com. Remember, that's spelled Libsyn. Just go there, find all of our episodes, including an RSS feed if you want to use that as well. You can also find us on other places, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Just search for Pony411 on any of those places. On Google Play, you have to go to play.google.com/music before you search. But go there, find us, subscribe to us, all that sort of fun stuff there. You can also find us on youtube.com/pony411. So go subscribe to us there, comment on the videos, make sure you like them. Let us know you like them there. We do read the comments. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to get emails when new episodes go up. You can also find us amongst all the other shows and such on Ponyville Live. It'll update automatically when the YouTube version goes up. So if you use that site, you can find us amongst them. And you can find us on Ponyville FM, where we air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So tune in then. Or whenever else, because it's a great place to find fandom music and live DJs and stuff like that. So check them out. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can email us. We are pony411podcast@gmail.com. So send us comments, criticisms, suggestions, stuff like that. If maybe I'm wrong and you want to tell me how wrong I am about this episode, you can email us there so I can completely ignore it. No, really, go ahead and email us. Tell us what you thought about this episode, the podcast episode, or the show episode. Tell us your thoughts. If you liked it, you didn't, if you think we're wrong. As long as you're respectful, we like that. And we will listen to respectful comments. Or say you have something you want us to talk about, send it there, and we will take a look. No guarantees, but we will look. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. Go like our page there. We'll post updates when they happen. You know how Facebook works, I hope, by this point in time. We are also on Twitter, @pony411. Follow us there, tweet us. Best way to, if you just want to say hi, it's probably the easiest way. We watch that all the time. Mm-hmm. You also see us just tweet random nonsense, because that's all Twitter's about, is random nonsense.
Heck yeah.
And garbage fires. You can also find our personal Twitter accounts. I am @Alcatraz with a 7 instead of a T and an underscore at the end, and they are @Nemesis Prime 1. Mm-hmm. So follow us, see whatever we tweet. I very rarely tweet. But I'm there. You can tweet us personally. Robots.
Yeah, robots. I got reviews that got piled up because of 2 conventions.
Yep.
I could finally get back to those. I've been getting back to those.
Getting back into the swing of regular life away from convention. They're fun, but they are quite exhausting.
And expensive.
And expensive. And then you get the con crud afterwards.
Sometimes.
I did. You avoided it. I didn't. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of our episode. I hope you liked what you heard. If you did, hope you tune in next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the next episode.
A Trivial Pursuit.
That's a game to make people mad.
It's about Twilight.
Yes. A Twilight episode, and you get to lead that one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how things go.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting.
Oh, yes.
But until then, remember, please pony responsibly. See ya.
Bye.